Is that a bop or what? Is that a bop or what? What's up, E Black? Yes, we back. We back. Let's argue tonight.
I reached out to that drummer on that track the other day too. Some more stuff.
What was that?
I reached out to the drummer on that track the other day. I want to do some more stuff.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. Jen thinks she wants to sneeze. Let me see. Jen, you want to sneeze? You gonna wait? Okay. She's gonna wait. What's up, Meagan? Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. We are feeling good tonight. Let's argue tonight. You know what I put in my community tab? I said tonight is all about race. Come get triggered. We're going to trigger people tonight. I'm in a triggering mood. I want to trigger people. You want to trigger people? No, Saint? I see you with the fedora. I see you with the fedora, Becky. I see you.
Right.
I see you.
Had to get it out the attic.
All right. So here we are, folks. Welcome on the Block with Jen on all social media platforms, on the Block with Jen at Gmail for business. Okay. All right. Let's get my people in this party started. Introduce yourselves. And we're not going to have to introduce ourselves forever, but we're doing it for now. You know what I mean? Because we're not conceited. We're not like, you know who I am. All of you don't know who we are. Some of you, this may be your first time looking at us. And I know what you're thinking. My goodness, where have I been? Who are these delicious people? We'll let you know tonight. Okay. Lily.
I'm Lily of YB Limited. That's the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited, the way it is spelled here on the screen. You can find me here on YouTube as well as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And did I leave anything out? I don't know, but just find me in those places. I started off as a makeup artist, and my career evolved into being a model and actor, and then all roads led me here to the block with my folks. Mm-hmm.
And I am Heron DeMarco, music producer and relentless antagonist, instigator, and shit talker. And I'm live and direct from St. Louis, born and raised in New York. You can catch me on IG under Dangerous DeMarco, or you can catch me on TikTok. You can also catch me on Spotify or Apple Music under Heron DeMarco.
Well, with all that, I'm going to have to spice up my introduction a little bit. So I'm no saint. 9-year veteran, fought in Afghanistan in 2001, 2002.
Talk your ish. Talk your ish.
I'm a firefighter, but I really love coming on here and getting it going and cutting it up with On the Block with Jen. You can catch me on No Saint YouTube or Saint No Saint, st.no saint on IG. And I'll pass it over to Mr. David Hand.
Mr. David Hand, spell out the Mr. or you won't find me. Raised on the mean streets of suburban Connecticut, I came here to take over the world. I'm a recovering corporate creative director who somehow stumbled upon a runway and have been walking New York Fashion Week ever since about 6 or 7 years ago. I complain a lot because I'm Gen X, and that's what we do. And that's what the block needs is another complaining voice, and I'm here to deliver.
Yes, we do. We can never have too many complaining voices. With that said, if you want to support the show, please, by all means, dig in them pockets, people. And On the Block with Jen Cash App as well. I'm very easy to find all over the place. Cash App On the Block with Jen, On the Block with Jen and Gmail, On the Block with Jen TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay, I'm very easy to find. Please follow all my folks. That's why I haven't put the banner up yet. I'll put the banner up and take it down every now and then so you can read their names. Follow us. That is how you support. We about to do some big things, and everybody says that, but we really are. So you need to follow us, and you need to follow us while the prices are low, bitch, because yesterday's price is not today's price. Feel free to reach out to any one of us for some work or what you think we would be good for in any capacity. We will respond long as we hear this. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you hear that? All right. Otherwise, don't reach out. If you want to collab, it has to be worth it. It has to be reciprocal. We love everybody, but honestly, at this point, if you got 2 subs, it's not really going to help us, okay? So think business. It has to be reciprocal. That's not to say that we won't support if you don't have a huge following. However, you got to have something. You got to have some je ne sais quoi. You got to have some spice. You got to have something why we would, go running over there to help y'all out, okay? And if you're bigger than us, by all means, help us out because we're going to represent. Okay. So, with that said, are you feeling mommy in the brown? I'm doing chocolate tonight.
You
I'm
know, I
doing
noticed
chocolate.
it.
I know you noticed, Lee. These guys don't notice anything. I'm gonna have to wear more. Do I have to wear more padding? Come on.
I think those things told tonight. It looks like an Irish racist detective right now.
Well, listen, I might be Irish. I don't know. I finally figured out how this mic works on this app. So I think this is the first night I'm actually on the block with my mic working.
Like you look super CIA right now, bro.
Yes. Very nice. Listen, Star insists that I'm Italian somewhere down the line. He insists. He will not let. He's like, no, you're Italian, so you're definitely. I'm like, I don't know, Star. Perhaps I haven't done the ancestry DNA test yet, and I want us to all do that in the future. I think we should all get an ancestry DNA test, and I think we should read them here live so we know how black we is or isn't, because being black is quite important. Okay, so with that said, tonight, oh honey, let me tell you, it's gonna be all about all night.
Did it go off? Did it go off? I didn't see it.
It go off, yeah.
Okay.
Lily, you didn't see it?
Oh, I see it. It's not.
Oh, she looks like she's a racist.
Right?
For real.
Oh my God. Yeah, so tonight it's going to be all about race. We haven't got people's blood, you know what I mean, boiling in a minute, so let's do it tonight. Of course, the topic is Meagan Good stands by her man, Jonathan Majors. I want to go into that, but there's some stuff buzzing on the timelines that I wanted to address. Haran, I noticed you say you're from St. Louis. It's funny because Kamara Lee Simmons, we spoke about her last night. She was like, I'm from St. Louis, so you know I ain't having. I was like, bitch, sit down before you break a nail. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Living in St. Louis.
Knock it off. She was like, yeah, because I'm from St. Louis. And then she was like, Russell is from Queens, but he can't be the real Queens because that ain't Queens. I'm like, bitch, sit down. Okay, before you tell us who deserves street cred, sit down before you break a nail, okay? Anyway, with that said, it just
put Kamora Lee in like the same sentence as like gangster, like
no,
about that light.
However, living out here, originally being from New York and living out here in St. Louis and being in a place called East St. Louis, I will say, when I went out there for something and I saw around, I couldn't believe that actual human beings lived in this area. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like,
okay, but here's the thing: I'm not talking about the place itself. See, because I'm from the Bronx, right? But Jennifer Lopez also says she's from the Bronx, right? And we know that it's two different. We know she was up in Castle Hill, and I'm stepping over bodies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't doubt that St. Louis. Hey, I watch First 48. I know how St. Louis gets down. Okay, but I'm just saying. Kamora Lee Simmons, claiming St. Louis like it means something.
No,
honey.
You say you're from. When you say, you have to say you're from a certain place. That's a title, man. That ain't gonna throw any hands, though. I could say, hey, I'm from New Orleans. Don't mess with me. Doesn't mean I can fight. I'm just throwing that name out there.
Yeah.
Some of the cities that we think of having.
Where you're from, though. If you say you're from certain parts of New York, it's a very good chance. You do.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have to say it.
But even still,
there
was just something out that said
some
of the cities that you think are the toughest cities in the world are not the toughest cities in the world, or are not the most violent ones.
There's always, it goes to say, we grew up a certain way, but we're not kids in Iraq and Iran either. Okay. Them kids have AKs and they
or in the favela in Brazil, The favela,
yeah.
But I'm just saying we could point. Oh, nice. I'm just saying we could point out a poser when we see one. So when she said that, I chuckled. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, honey, you were on a runway being groomed at age 15. You were not in the streets of St. Louis, ma'am. Knock it off.
And when you say grooming, I assume that you mean groom for like hair and makeup to get on the runway?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. She was being groomed to be a trophy wife and a trophy breeder. Didn't work out that well because them Simmons kids, I'm sorry.
Hey.
All right. Okay.
Leave
All
kids
right.
alone, man.
All right.
You know,
Goofies with curly hair.
that is like a theme. I mean, this is going on forever. Like Elvis, Priscilla Presley. I mean, this
I
isn't
mean,
like
no, yeah, since the beginning of time.
yeah. I mean,
Jermaine
it's like
Lewis.
if you're a musician,
Mhm.
you get a pass. I mean,
Well, you don't get
seems
passed.
like
Until you stop selling music, then your
they,
pass
did,
goes
they
away.
didn't get arrested though for statutory
Well,
rape.
no, they get a pass because they're, in society, they get a pass because they're rich and famous, but they don't get a real pass. Like, you know what I mean? So let's get into this, okay? I hope Kamara Lee Simmons don't pull up on me. Just kidding, Kamara. I don't want no beef with Kamara Lee Simmons. All right, guys. So let's get into this. Hold us down, chat. Don't forget you can super chat. E Black, we are going back to atheist versus religious on Thursday. I hope you're available, sir. Okay, let's get to the desks of everyone. No Saint, what you got coming from the tater tots? I heard the tater tots are mad.
Well, but I actually found something else that I found interesting too. I want to throw that out there. You're speaking of, you're talking about how the price is low now, but that price not be that way tomorrow.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
So I just found out. So I think it's Leonardo Messi. I think his first name is Leonardo. Leonardo Messi is one of the best soccer players in the world. He and Ronaldo. He's from Argentina. Was offered $1.2 billion to play in Saudi Arabia. He's 35 years old. Miami, MLS, Major League Soccer in Miami, is giving him 50 to 60 million. He chose Miami. Why did he choose Miami? Well, Apple has the contract for all the MLS games. So Apple is giving him a percentage of their take. Adidas who does all the jerseys and everything for MLS is giving him. They all collaborated to bring Messi here. Plus, the Miami team, I think, even gave a percentage. Those tickets, which were selling for $40 a piece, are now going for $400 a piece in MLS.
In the end, he'll get $1 billion anyway.
What's that?
In the end, in the far end, maybe he'll get $1 billion anyway. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He has a stake in something.
So he played the long
just
game.
listen to what I'm saying. They're saying he makes more than any NFL player right now. It's crazy money out there. So I just thought that was interesting about buy those out. Now, as far as the tater tots go, he was indicted today. He and his brother were indicted today, charged with the grape and also charged with human trafficking. Allegedly, they brought 7 different women there on allegedly looking for love, that's how they do traffic women, and not just him. That's how they traffic them in prostitution a lot of time over there. Is they promise them a job, and then they get there. Oh, you owe us this amount of money, and one of the associates, I don't know if it was his brother, so I don't want to say it was his brother, allegedly raped one of the girls twice. Anyway, so he thought he could get away with it over in Bucharest, Hungary, and evidently they say no, he's arrested. He and his brother are arrested. So they are
rearrested. They're rearrested. They're back in a cell.
This is a different country. This is a different country.
Well, they were charged, right? They'd been arrested, indicted, and released, and now they were charged with rape.
They are indicted now with
they're
rape
back in a cell
and human trafficking. Yes.
So he won't be on any podcast. He'll be back in a cell.
And I assume, unless they're going to give him some kind of an ankle bracelet and take his passport away, and I'm sure he'd have to pay some kind of bail. I don't know how it works over in Bucharest, but
the tater tots are up in arms right now. It's like they're all out there shaving their heads and yelling from the top of their lungs. I'm assuming. I'm sorry, tater tots.
Well, this is breaking. This is breaking news.
Yeah, because I'm just breaking about this.
Yeah. And the third thing I want to throw out there, if we get to it at some point, is Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to tax fraud, and I think he's going to get the illegal gun charge because he's a felon. They're going to drop that, and he's going to be on probation. So, did the cult following Trump crowd and the right Republicans say that's a fair justice system? No, they're saying they think that fair justice means equal outcome, and it doesn't. Situations are different. The way you handle your business is different. And so I think it's, they're just pivoting and saying he got a slap on the wrist. He's still in, they're still investigating him for some other things, but he is guilty. He's going to plead guilty. So, and it was a 5-year investigation. So it could still hurt Biden in the long run as far as the election goes and things like that. But I just find that interesting that I knew all this talk, because that is the rights talking point is that what about Hunter Biden? So now Hunter Biden's gotten a little trouble, and now it's not enough. And they're saying it's a 2-tier justice system. And I say, where were you guys when people of color have been saying it was a 2-tier justice system? They were nowhere to be found. But now it's a 2-tier justice system.
So let me I may be crazy to say this, but does it matter who the president is in this fucking country at this point?
No, the corporations run it.
Right. It's like at this point, who cares what clown is in there? I think Trump proved that. Also, I did want to go back to the tater tots. What are we feeling about Andrew Tate? Is there evidence, though? Because I know there are a lot of accusations, but has there been anyone come forth with actual evidence? Because remember, the Tate brothers are basically like, this is bullshit. These women came out here to work. They were getting paid. They were, in the lap of luxury. They were phone sex workers. That's what went down. They were not being held prisoner. But now all hell is breaking loose and they're claiming, sex trafficking and sexual assault and stuff. Has anyone said anything about any tangible evidence, or these are just women saying you did? Do you know anything about that?
Well, I don't know. I know, in this country, normally if you prosecute, they usually have something, but they don't ever release it before the trial. So I haven't read what their evidence is other than the allegations. So that's going to come out, but they're going to be tried. So I don't know. Again, I would have to look up to see how the justice system works over there. As far as how it is, how they indict people and things like that. I can only assume, and that's why I'm saying all this stuff is alleged. I can only assume they have some evidence or they wouldn't be bringing them to trial. But I have to look into it further. But this was just brand new before we came on. I saw the little notices popping up, so I just read to see what they were charging with.
And this is separate from his case in Romania, or is this?
That's the question I was having.
In Romania. Yeah.
This is the case in Romania.
This is all happening in Romania.
Oh, I've been saying Hungary. Sorry.
That's what
you said Bucharest.
Yeah.
I heard,
right.
Yeah, I keep on saying Hungary.
Because you're hungry.
Okay.
You're drinking and you're hungry.
Because I'm drinking. No, I should not be drinking on here. Yeah.
Why not? We love
Romania. I'm sorry. Romania. My bad. My first day on the job. Give me a break.
Okay, come on, Dick Tracy. All right. Okay.
Already discredited.
No, you're good. We are good. We're allowed to mistake every now and then. Yeah. Except when he's reading the news. Okay. We love you, No Saint. We love you, No Saint.
You do look nice.
I see. Huh?
You do look nice tonight.
He does.
Yeah, you do.
He does. Okay, so Spro, I see you. Spro, are you coming up? I see you popping off in the chat. All right, so next one, let's get this blood.
Yeah, bring Sproul up. I need either Sproul. I need either Sproul or I need the other colonizer. The other colonizer up here.
Yeah, George, if you're watching, come on up. E Black, if you're watching, Spro Show. Ooh, shots fired. No Saint got them liquor muscles on him right now.
Bring Dr. Conservative on here. The doctor. I see he was spouting off on his channel today. Renaissance
snap, man. No Saint.
Oh, really? Oh, No Saint is in the streets. No Saint's in the streets today.
He done been around New Yorkers too long.
When you come to Vegas,
rubbing off.
It is rubbing off.
Okay, so quick note. I think what's happening to Andrew Tate, whether he's guilty or innocent, because we don't know, I think it's very interesting. I think it's a sign of, a lot of these clowns better watch out. These clowns that rise to fame and money really quickly on YouTube, they are on your ass. There's something about YouTube. I mean, Kevin Samuels is dead. There's like 2 other guys that died that were big in that manosphere. Andrew Tate was taken down. I have a funny feeling that Pearl chick is she's going to be up on the chopping block too. Anybody that fresh and fit, I'm sure they're on borrowed time too. Tommy Sotomayor, they completely destroyed his channels. So it's like, the getting is good, but I noticed something about YouTubers, right? Especially the ones that are grifters and the ones that are using hate to catapult themselves to superstardom and fame and money. I noticed something. And some people may say it's karma. Some people, I don't know what the fuck it is. But I do notice that they don't fucking understand. They get greedy, right? They don't understand. It's like any other life of crime. You got to get in, get a good bag, and then get out and flip the money. See, the people from the streets, the real streets, we really know that shit. But what happens is they get greedy and they get worse and worse. And they start, it's like the monster, that you built and you can't control. But if you notice, a lot of these huge YouTubers are crumbling or dying. So if I was fresh and fit, if I was Miss Pearl, I'd be very, very careful of what's going on, especially because if you notice, they're not really built for the life that they're building because they're not from the grimy streets. They're grifters. So they're like, oh, this will make money, but you're swimming with the sharks now. Right? It's like Carlito's way. Remember when Carlitos told the attorney he thought he was tough because he hung out with gangsters, and Carlito told him, you took the money? And he was like, you damn right, I took the money. And he was like, oh, you ain't a lawyer no more. You a gangster now. And that's what's happening on YouTube. You took the money, or you a gangster now. And Carlito walked out because Carlito really knew the streets and he knew what would happen. Y'all think it's a game, but it's fun to watch from over here. Welcome to the block, bitches.
You told me early on, Jen, you said YouTube streets is just like the real streets, and you weren't lying.
Hello.
You were not lying.
Hello.
They get addicted to this. They get addicted to the attention, man.
Yeah, and it's like when they get addicted to attention, and anybody who has, just a bunch of hate thrown on you all the time, and then millions and millions and millions. You see, Miss Pearl now on podcasts, and she's completely tongue tied, like she doesn't know how to talk. She's like, I believe. She's like, well, I believe. No, I think. Well, I believe. With her little nubby fingers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully I'll end up in a one-on-one interview with her because I have some things to ask. With that said.
Over and over, we get that repeating theme that people aren't ready. You know what I mean? People step into the public eye, whether they're a performer, whether they're, a YouTube personality, whatever, and they're not actually prepared for everything that's going to happen. They're not prepared for splayed open public details, or they're not ready to take down those people that are their detractors. They're not ready.
I do want to, interesting you should say, Mr. David Hand, because I do want to do a stream with all of us about like, are you ready for this YouTube life? And I would like to invite Gloria Velez. I'm gonna put in a phone call, see if I can get Gloria Velez up here because she's starting a podcast very, very soon. For those of you who don't know, Gloria Velez was a very, very, very popular video vixen back in the 90s. She has an interesting Instagram page and she is starting a podcast. And I would love to, have her up here to discuss, are you ready? Right? Because it's going to get crazy. And I already know beforehand everything that they're going to attack her with. So it'll be an interesting conversation. Let's see if we can make that happen. I'll make a phone call.
Yeah, I think that'd be dope.
Yeah.
She's got a lot to say. She knows a lot of bones are buried.
Haran, you will shush it. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. So let's get into a friendly neighborhood broke clock that's right twice a day. I like her a little bit, so I said she's right 3 times a day. Okay. If you turn the clock and you shake it.
Yeah, you got to shake that clock. And then
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, I shake the clock. She's right 3 times a day. Candace Owens says Black people are weak. Let me give you that bell one more fucking time because we're going to Owens says black people are weak. I want to read her comment verbatim, okay? Because it's something I agree with very, very, very much. And I'm going to tell you why I agree with that. I hope you guys are here to get nice and triggered, get comfy. So, this was via Twitter. Someone said to Candace, if you hate being a black woman, just say that. You talk like a Democrat, act like you don't have our best interest at heart. Our, meaning the black community, because you know the black community, although they say we're not a monolith, they speak like a monolith. Right? You all right? No.
Damn, no Saint.
You okay? No Saint?
Damn, no
Monolith, it's a trigger word for him.
Is it?
Clutched his throat. He got water in his eyes.
I'm like, I didn't even start the punchlines yet. I didn't even get to the punchline.
He's whipping out his Ski pen over there.
That wine's just too good. I can't pace myself.
I'm working here. I'm working here. I'm working. Everybody stand back. I'm working here, okay?
I hope nobody got a clip of that.
Okay, so we got a clip. Now we got to put it into our fucking trailer. Now we got to put it into our trailer next to the guy that passed out on New Year's Eve on our fucking panel. Right. Oh, David, yes, New Year's Eve show. Dude passed out, fell, collapsed on the table, bumped his head on the table, and we were all yelling for him to wake up.
And then he woke up for 2 seconds and pow, back down again.
And back down? Oh my God.
And back down. Okay, so this tweeter goes on to say, you act like you don't have our best interests at heart, only your pockets. Lady, you sound like the idiot who said men can get pregnant. Which is weird, which tells me she doesn't really know Candace at all, because Candace is anti-transgender, right? So this is weird. Anyway, so Candace claps back. Okay, my little broken clock. Right, 3 times a day, Lily. Candace says, I am not kidding when I say that over 90% of my podcast content criticizes white people in politics and culture. But because black people are soft, emotional, and have had their brains rotted by Black Lives Matter, in the rare circumstances that I cover a black topic, they cry like bitches. So Candace wanted all the smoke, okay? She said, in the rare occurrences that I do to cover black people, they cry like bitches. And I got to co-sign that. Because what do I get a lot of on the block? You always talking about black people. Why don't you talk about Puerto Rican people? Well, are you going to pull up when I talk about Puerto Rican people? Because I'm about numbers and money, bitch. So if I do a whole stream on on Jennifer Lopez, are you coming through? Are you pulling up? No?
But they don't know her. Okay. They don't know her.
Okay, right. So it's like this, right? This is a bit nass, right? So I can totally relate to what she's saying, because here on the block, we cover, a wonderful myriad of topics. We do our artificial intelligence, we do technology, we do women scorn, we do colorism, we do race. Let's talk about the white people. Let's talk about the podcasters. Let's talk about relationships. Let's talk about our personal experiences. We cover a lot. It's a very, very beautiful, diverse panel. Lots of topics. But for some reason, just like Candace said, I have to co-sign this. When I do a topic on black people, it's like, oh, you only talk about black people. Why you don't talk about Puerto Rican people, right? So the same thing happens here. So I totally understand what Candace is saying. And it begs the question, do black people think they are beyond critique and beyond reproach, right? I have to agree with her. My little broken clock is right on this. I'll pass the mic. We're getting background noise, so please mute your mic until you speak. There's like somewhere back there. Thank you.
I'm trying to figure out where the hell did I get, at what point did I get to where I'm actually agreeing with Candace Owens? Like what decisions did I make in my life where I'm just like, oh, she has a point. And I'm like, I'm over here hanging out with the girls. I'm doing all this other shit just because black people they just can't get it together, man. And it's frustrating. It's disgusting to watch. You know, there's more passion and vitriol when discussing the agenda, whatever agenda it is, whether it's the gay agenda or the emasculation of Black men or the agenda to rip the Black community, this is more
or hip hop, or Puerto Ricans in hip hop. That's another agenda. We're trying to steal hip hop from people.
All that, you know what I mean? And there's so much vitriol in, for that, and we still don't discuss the fact that even Candace said it, that a large degree, over 80% of our children are failing math and reading. Our children do not have basic reading comprehension skills. They don't have, basic math skills. And judging by their parents, when I get into a number of disagreements with them online, I realize why they're not very good at it. Because their parents also aren't very good at it. Dare I say, maybe no one in that motherfucking household really knows how to fill out a job application correctly. So, our children, look, I'll pass the mic on this. At the end of the day, the Black community is where it is right now because we just don't understand two concepts very well: power and information. I'll pass the mic on that.
Wow. Growing up, right? My mother was unapologetic with drawing the line in the sand. We are not like them. They are not like us. We are not like them. And I
Who's
used to
them,
dig in
Lily? Who's them?
the degenerates in our community, in the Black community, right? Um, and so I used to take that wrong. I used to be offended by it. I used to think that she forgot where she came from, because my mother and my father came from one of the worst part, not one, the worst part of DC, hands down. It's like the South Bronx of DC. Like my mother always said, I had to fight my way in, I had to fight my way out, right? And so and she fought her way out. And now 40 plus me understands. It took a minute for me to understand the importance of drawing the line in the sand, because as black people and as queer people, we are guilted into being a monolith, right? And it's like, but that's really, really dangerous. That's really dangerous in any community, because in every community, you're going to have degenerates, right? You're going to have people that you're just not going to be associated with, because it's like our ideologies, the way we live, the way we think, the way we behave, all of that is completely different. And I don't want to be bunched in with that. And it comes a point, you know, where the line has to be drawn in the sand. Now, the argument is going to be and can be put in place that Candace is trolling, right? And which she is, right? But you can still troll and tell the truth at the same time, right? You can still tell the truth, and you can tell the truth in a nice way. You can tell the truth in a mean way. You can tell the truth in a passive aggressive way. It just depends on how you want your truth, right? It depends on how you want your information. Some people need it with a baby, sweetie, honey, darling, and some people who are like me, just give it to me fucking straight. Give it to me like I like my coffee, black, straight up, and we'll go ahead and deal with it from there. Um, and so, yeah, some of these things are really hard to listen to, but what's even more hard is to watch what has happened to the community and watch the state that we're in right now. That's tough, right? So, like somebody said just now, the things that we choose to selectively be outraged about is so unimportant compared to the things that we need to be outraged about in our community. So I'll pass.
Candace Owens, broken clock 3 times a day. I like this comment here. Abby, New York City says, if you're so above reproach as a people, then that's privilege. And funny how it's always associated with white people. So yes, at times I agree. But Black privilege has been ringing on social media as of late. So we can get into that too. That's another layer of it. David No Saint, what do you think about what Candace said? Says Black people are soft. She talks about people 90% of the time. But whenever she brings up Black people, because Black people are soft or and emotional, all hell breaks loose. So I take that as, wanting to be beyond reproach and critique. You're mute.
She's talking to white people. She's talking to 80, 90% white people. Also, the person who wrote in the words Democratic and Candace Owens in the same sentence. Did anyone else catch that? You're supposed to be talking for us. When has Candace Owens ever spoken for the Black community? Ever?
Well, when has she ever spoken like a Democrat?
Right.
Like a tradition, like a
and not a twisted individual who supports a party completely contrary to her own not only economic interest, but her very existence. I guess that's what gets me the most. And meanwhile she's contributing to the continuing system of white supremacy that we still haven't chipped away enough in centuries, so that we can create a more feasible window for people of color to come up through.
I will contend that though. I will contend that I'm not a fan of the Dems because I feel that they continue to enable the fuckery in the community.
Yes.
They continue to enable a lot of content that I'm seeing in the community under the guise of helping the community.
What I don't understand is
the Republican Party as well.
I'm sorry. Well, that's why I said whoever tweeted this to her doesn't know Candace. Like she even said, you sound like the person that said a man can have a baby. I'm like, Candace is anti-trans. I'm like, this person sounds like they don't know her at all. But when I hear someone say, well, she doesn't speak for the Black community, she is a Black woman who has a right to speak on the community she comes from. It's weird to me. White people do it all the time. White people get on these platforms, they're on CNN, and they're talking about white people. But when a Black woman, right, forget me, because they're like, you Latina, you can't talk. But it's not about me being Latina, because you do it to Black people as well. Whenever a Black person is saying something that is not defeatist, okay, that is not in the nature of coddling the community, they become an enemy. They become a supporter of white supremacy. I've heard Candace Owens say things that I have to agree with. I'm sorry, George Floyd should not have been a martyr. I'm sorry, he should have been a martyr. That doesn't mean that, hold on, that doesn't mean that he deserved to be murdered the way he did. And I don't think people know how to separate that. I don't think he should have been martyred, okay? But I don't think he should have been murdered the way he was in front of the world. Those things, people say both things can be true. Those things can really be true. He should not have been a martyr. He was a career criminal who pointed a loaded gun at a pregnant woman's stomach. He should not have been idolized. However, he should not have been murdered in front of the world so horrifically. When she says things like that, see, look, she's upholding white supremacy. When she's talking about the illiteracy rate, when she's giving tips to the Black community, what books to read on economics and finances, how is she upholding white supremacy when she's literally telling the defeatist Negroes, get up off your fucking ass, wash it, get educated, and get out there? How is she enemy? Okay. How is she enemy public enemy number one of the Black community? How? Please explain to me.
This is what I'll say about Candace. When she says she talks to when she's talking negatively or whatever about 90% of white people, 90% of the time, she's talking about people on the other side of the political aisle. She's not talking about the people that are watching her. Right. So she can be right about everything you said, but she's not on Fox News for that. She's not on these channels, these conservative channels for that. She's on there to dog whistle and to support. So it's like, what's his name? The white guy that not Vlad, but the other one that is always he's really liberal and he's always what was his name, man? I'm trying to think of his. Maybe it'll come to me. But there's a guy.
What's he look like?
No jumper.
Not no jumper. It's a name. He's actually. Oh, shoot, I wish I remember his name.
Sean King.
He's a liberal. Sean King.
Oh. Okay,
so Sean King is like Candace Owens is like Sean King. She's on a white platform, and the talking points are everything that I'd hear from my neighbor that gets drunk all the time. She's just using those same talking points. And so she makes a lot of money doing it because she's Black. That's the problem. I don't have a problem with her saying, the education. That's all good. But I'm just saying the other stuff she does to me is kind of see-through. It's kind of
So
see-through.
what? So then I have to ask. Again, it's like voting. Like you people, and I say you people, the voters. I don't fucking vote. I'm not playing that game with y'all. Okay, you voters. Okay, you vote someone in, and you beat off to complaining about them the whole fucking 4 years. It doesn't matter who you vote in. Doesn't matter who you vote in. You fucking complain about politics, right? It's almost like sports. You just pick a team, you throw on a jersey, red or blue, then you fucking complain ad nauseum for 4 fucking years. All you voters do it.
Most
All of you
people.
do it. Most.
I say most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most. Okay. So with that said, when someone says, well, it's okay that she says this, but I don't like when she says that. What is the perfect commentator to you? Please, and this is for the panel, the chat, everybody lurking and watching. Give me one name of someone that you agree with 100% of the time. Just one name. And I'm just one. I'm making it easy for you guys. Give me one person that gets it right and hits it out the park and makes you feel comfortable about your feelings about race and gender and politics. Give me one person that it's like, oh, every time you speak, I just agree with everything. You make me feel so good for voting for you, and you make me feel so good about watching you. Just give me one name. Just the one.
I don't have to participate because I already told y'all many times I don't agree with no motherfucking body.
There's no such person, period. You know what I mean? Whether they be a commentator or whatever, there's no human being alive that personally I agree with 100% of the time. Now, it's about signal to noise ratio, and I'll explain. If there's more signal when I listen to you, meaning that is more sense and we're on more common ground, then more than likely I'll be like, yeah, you know what I mean? I mess with this dude. He says some things here and there that I don't really fuck with, but overall, I fuck with this guy. Now, if there's more noise and less signal, yeah, I'm going to be like, yo, this guy's a piece of shit. However, at some point in time, you're going to say something that I'm going to be like, yeah, I agree to that too. Like, look, listen, we have to sit here and we have to be very honest with each other. If we're going to fix anything in any community overall, you're going to have to extend your hand over to the devil. That's just the way it works. You know what I mean? This shit isn't binary. You know what I mean? You're going to have to deal with people you don't really, particularly care for. You're going to have to consider perspectives from people you don't particularly care for. I agree. For Candace Owens. I don't. But on this particular shit that she's saying, especially today after I saw the video, I agreed with 100% of it. I did. I'm passing on that.
I mean, yeah. Oh God. I mean, because this is the thing. I see. If it was put into a meme, right? Because you know my favorite saying, "Is it true?" I don't give a fuck who said it. I don't care how they said it. Is it true? Right? So
Correct.
You put that shit on a meme and leave her name off of it. They be like, "Ooh, yup, and then you add her name to it, and then all of a sudden, So we all have our personal biases depending on who said it. That's why I like to leave the names out of quotes sometimes, because people's brains can't just take away the person from the person who said it, right? And so yeah, her motivation, we could argue her motivation all day long, but is it true? This is the thing. If I rob a bank, right, and I get caught and someone snitches on me, I can call them a snitch all day, but was it true? That's it.
Okay, guys, we got a full house. Please watch your mics. If you got a lot of background noise, mute yourself until you speak. That is all I'm asking. And watch your phones. Your girlfriend's calling you. Baby mama's telling you, get off that damn block with Jen. Whatever's going on in your background, please mute it until you speak. Who wants the mic next? I want to be fair on this. Candace Owens says Black people are soft, and she talks about white people 90% of the time, but when she addresses Black people, all hell breaks loose, and they are over emotional. Who wants the mic?
You want to know what I think about Candace Owens?
Go ahead. Let us know.
I feel the way about Candace Owens the same way I feel about every other human being on the planet. Meaning, like, what is she saying? That's how I'm going to judge her based off of that. Candace Owens, okay, she's a conservative Black woman. We all know what that's like. It's a stereotype. It's funny. And get this, if you were to make jokes about a conservative Black woman, she would laugh at the jokes. That's the kind of person she is. She cares. She's passionate. The culture war has gotten so riled up that it doesn't matter what influencer on what side it is. I think we probably all here, I would like to think, can agree that, like, if anyone is like really like, it seems to be the left. However, both sides are now getting to a point, like, if anyone had a point on either side, people are getting there's no compromise to the degree where everyone is getting paranoid. Now, for the most part, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm a true liberal and or libertarian. That's how I feel. However, because of the culture war, people just say I'm right wing. I no longer adopt any. I won't even say that. I address the individual points. Call me whatever you want. It's and Candace Owens, her saying like she cares about black people. She is black. She's a black conservative. No one's gonna listen to her anyway. Some of it is like the bag. You feel me? Like she's an influencer. She's a content creator. However, something that's interesting about content creators is that I think most are not grifters. Most actually believe, even if it's something ridiculous, believe what they're saying, and it works out that they can get paid off of, doing that. So I think Candace Owens is one of those people. I think she does care. Black people are soft. Black Americans soft. Yes. So like she's correct. It doesn't matter how you feel about Candace Owens. It doesn't matter what party you're a part of, because I feel like if it really hit the fan, like Candace Owens is just she's kind of the same. And I feel like a lot of people who are labeled right wing nowadays by today's standards, they're kind of like me. They just address the individual points, and a whole bunch of points that they feel a certain type of way about may just align with what the very loud, very aggressive opposing force is. So like, I like some stuff Candace Owens says, other stuff I feel like she's a little hype. Same way with like Matt Walsh. I think Matt Walsh is really funny, and I can tell Matt Walsh cares because like he's always like the kids. But Matt Walsh is a bully, real rap, and like he gets a little too hype. But I get it. Like I get it and I understand. But that's now we're seeing conservatives start to get to the level of loony that we've seen the left get to. And it's basically proving like we're not. If we live in a democratic society, there needs to be compromise. And I'm not saying I know exactly what that looks like. I have an idea, and get this, we all know what and have an idea what that looks like, but like no one's being big enough to bend, and I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay. She was right in the tweet. She was right about Black Lives Matter. It was a hoax. She proved it. They proved it. It was a hoax, right? So when she says that, Black people have been brainwashed by Black Lives Matter, it is true. It is factual. It was a hoax. It was a hoax. I mean, the phrase was great, by the way.
Okay.
Made some great T-shirts. But
First of all,
I would just want to say this. When we talk about any kind of organization that has been funded by this shadow money, really some liberal and sometimes some fucking Republican, when these movements are funded half of the time, the
Tea Party,
crying and complacent and shit like that. Listen, it's in connection also with the Black church. That shit is the main thing that keeps the goddamn community complacent. Nobody ever asks it, and nobody questions the fact that the Black church continues again, and I'm going to say it again, continues to bring in $2 billion a fucking year, and the community is still in tatters. And no one asks where the fucking money goes. Anyway, continue.
Because they can stop giving it to the church, and then you can account for it.
First of all, I agree. Like, first of all, we saw her Candace Owens documentary, and what I've learned even through Michael Moore documentaries is they slant that shit to what they wanted to say, whether it's a hoax or not. The people that were in it were the many people that were in it. Their hearts were in the right place, right? They might.
I heard her documentary sucked.
I saw it, but I want to say something to Spruce there.
Spro.
I think we're Spro. Sorry, man. I'm drinking, man. Just I'm not good with names anyway. I think we're closer to each other's thoughts than I thought before, because I call myself an independent, and I can look and compromise, and I can look at the other side of the story and say, yeah, they got some points, and I can say, but those are the people in the middle. When you say when I say right wing now, I'm talking about the people that still think the election is and all these hundreds of conspiracies and always moving the goalposts, and there's people are on the left as well.
Get this,
so
there are
I'm
people
closer
like
to
that.
the middle. There's a lot of people like that.
Again, which conspiracy? Which, like I said, I'm from now on, like I'm so on this stuff, like it's getting crazy. The culture war is getting crazy. The politics stuff is getting crazy. Stuff in like even amongst like in the geek world, like with movies and stuff, niggas is mad. like the men and women stuff, the manosphere stuff, it's getting so like people are so like we literally have so much free time and so much technology, like we just don't know what to do with ourselves, and like we're collapsing and everything is imploding, and we're getting a little too, again, humans are social, humans are supposed to be in groups, but like not like how we're doing it and not like how it's shifting, like
Gangland style.
Yeah, you know what it is, we're overcorrecting a lot of things because there's been so much overcorrection in certain areas that like we're starting to.
When you have politicians, and right now it might not always been this way, you can pick a few on the left, I can pick a lot on the right that are constantly what's her name, Taylor Greene, they're constantly putting out conspiracy, they're getting elected now, they're electing these people. To me, it's different. It's just different. But I'm not on that side. I'm not on the. I can see things wrong with the left. I'm closer to the center. I'm left of center, but I'm independent. But that's what I'm saying. Hearing what you said, I agree with what you said. A lot of what you said, I'm on the same page as you.
Donald Trump proved one thing. Donald Trump proved one thing, if nothing else. This whole shit is just entertainment at the end of the day.
Facts.
You want to be fucking entertained. Look, we're at a space right now where bias has become king.
Yes.
And in a hyper reactive world, facts are the enemy. Okay? Understand that.
Hey, Haran, you ever saw Idiocracy?
Oh, my favorite movie. I just watched it yesterday.
Yes, Mike Judge. Great movie.
It's coming true. That is homework for everyone who's watching who hasn't seen Idiocracy. Homework.
Okay.
Look, listen.
Thank you all for that.
Fantastic movie.
One of the most underrated movies, in my opinion, is Black Mass with Johnny Depp. Excellent in it, as he is excellent in every other fucking movie.
I watched that. Very, very nice.
And when he sat down with his son, remember that scene, Jen?
But remind me.
You know what I mean? He sat down with his son, and his son got in trouble in school. And he said, "Hey, I heard you got in trouble in school." And he said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, you know what I mean? I got punched. You know what I mean? I punched this kid in the face because he was basically being a little shit." And he was like, "Okay, good boy. Now, do you know why you got in trouble?" He was like, "Yeah, because I punched the kid in the face." He was like, "No, that's not why you got in trouble. You got in trouble because you punched that little shit in the face in front of other people." And he basically told him, it's not about what you do or who you do it with. It's about if anyone knows if you actually did it. If no one knows you did it, it never happened. And this is where we are in reality. If people don't truly believe something happened, even if it's happening right in front of their face, they say, "No, this isn't happening. No, that's a crisis actor. Like, no, dude, he's on the ground, he's bleeding. You think this is stunt blood? No, this is the real shit here. No, it's fake. You know, this is where we are. And in a world like that, I have absolutely no clue. How do we get back to facts being important and reality being what people actually cling to?
Celebrities can't even overdose anymore. It's because they killed him because he was promoting a reality show. They killed. Celebrities can't even overdose anymore. They can't even overdose in peace. So I'm gonna up the ante. Yes, I'm gonna up the ante. Let's put a little boot on white people. Okay, I hear when white people say, "Well, I don't like Candace Owens," right? It's usually because they want to be on the side of Black people. They want to be seen as allies. So they go against anybody Black who's talking against Black people, right? But here's the thing. Who do you think is the worst culprit of supremacy, white supremacy specifically? Because I always thought Candace Owens is a talking head. She's an entertainer. She's a talking head. She has no political power. She's selling books to a bunch of racist white people. Maybe, maybe not. Who cares, right? She's a talking head, right? In my opinion. Who do you think is worse, white people? I'm asking white people. Who do you think is worse, right, in terms of the oppression boot on Black people in this country? Candace Owens' talking points or the actual white fucking supremacy okay, that is putting the beat up books in our schools, the people of color, okay, that's putting that has fucking food deserts in the fucking ghetto, okay, that has corrupt policing in the fucking ghetto, because y'all are quick to go after Candace Owens. Candace Owens is there, you know, but Black Lives Matter, no Saint, you just said their heart was in the right place. What makes you think Candace Owens' heart isn't in the right place when she's telling black people, go fucking read a book about economics? Get off your fucking ass. Be fucking productive as a community. Who do you think is worse? Like you just said,
I got
Black
an answer.
Lives Matter. You just said Black Lives Matter. Well, their heart was in the right place, but Candace Owens' heart isn't in the right place because she's telling black people, get up off your fucking ass and read a book. I call it.
Well, when I say that heart was in the right place, I mean to what we were being fed in the media. They felt that things were, you know, we all know that, you know, media shows things depending on what you're watching, you're going to get different stories, and they're going to frame it a certain way to get more eyeballs on there. So when I say I'm not saying the people that started its heart was in the right place. I'm saying the people that were out there marching generally believe what they were doing was right. Now, whether Candace
they were
Owens,
lied to.
Right.
Okay,
I agree with that. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
believe that they were. I mean, I fucking marched, and then after I was like, "What the fuck is this? What am I doing?" But way back, Trayvon Martin back, way back.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
That's when you had
I'm
your
saying
awakening?
their heart was in the right.
That was my last march.
But that's what I'm saying.
Was
Their
Trayvon.
heart
last
was
march was in 2017, and that's
For
when
who?
I
For
had
who?
like
my last march was
in.
in high school in a
It was
marching
that
band.
Nazi thing in
Wait,
was it Georgia?
We can let No Saint finish, please?
Oh, okay. Yeah. My bad.
No, not a problem. No. So yeah, that's what I was talking about, Jen. I wasn't saying the people that started it heart was in the right place. I don't know, you know, the ins and outs of that. As far as I know, you know, yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans going on there. So, and I'm not saying what Candace Owens is saying. She can be right sometimes. That's what I was telling you. But what I'm saying is what I see on a regular basis is she's just dog whistling to a bunch of racist white people on Fox to make money. That's
She
what
is-
I mean.
She is self-aggrandizing and coming from a position of I am better than you other people of color. Be like me.
But
That's
she
what she's
is
doing.
though.
And if she's
But
not,
she
she's not.
is.
But if
She
we wanna
though.
nip
She
it in
is
the
though.
bud,
She
and
is though.
it's a done deal already because we sell this government off every 4 years to the highest bidder, and key to really turning things around is taxing the living shit out of the wealthy.
Okay, but we can't
everyone
pretend.
else's problems are coming from poverty, from not having, from from not being able to feed and shelter the family and everything like that.
So wait a minute.
But we have to, if we're not doing the grandma thing, which is it, and I'm a grandma, so I'm speaking from that place. If we're not doing the grandma, that we're all equal, we're all good, no, we're not. Candace Owens is better. I know, but Candace Owens is better than the demographic of Black people she's addressing. She is better.
She's not a better person.
But let me explain. Let me explain why she's a better person. Let me explain. If you guys let me explain, because you just keep asking me how she's better, and I'm trying to tell you how she's better. She is a Black woman living in America who decided to have the self-determinism to fucking educate herself, to make sure she was an educated woman, to make sure she sits upright and speaks upright, to make sure she looks good and clean in front of the fucking world, to go out and get married, do everything the right way, go out and get married, then have children, not have children out of wedlock. She's actually a model fucking citizen. She's not a criminal. She doesn't speak out the side of her neck. She's not a ghetto type of person. She is better than the demographic she's addressing. But what happens is, again, in the community, there's this kumbaya thing that happens. And I believe in drawing lines in the fucking sand. She is better than the chick that shows up in the slippers and the pajama pants and in the bonnet yelling at the girl at the Starbucks, bitch, you ain't get my coffee right. Candace Owens is better. People are better than other people. I am better than a lot of people. A lot of people are better than me. Why do we do this kumbaya thing? It is bullshit. It's cap and it's bullshit. It's just so people could look, oh no, it's all fair. She is better. There are men that are better than other men. What are we doing here exactly?
Who's going to encourage you, though? The person who antagonizes you and tells you, I'm fucking better, be like me. or the person who is going to be by your side and help you become a better person. I don't think Candace Owens is that person. I don't think there's a heart in there. I think it's just a Stepford wife robot, complaining loudmouth.
Well, to answer your question, it's a great question, but I'd learn from a Candace. I can't do that. Don't coddle me. Show me what to do,
I don't do
where it
coddling.
is, and how to do it. So Candace is speaking. So Candace is speaking to all. She's also speaking to a demographic that is like, fuck right. We should read a book. Shit, a couple of books she recommended, I fucking was like, let me see. She's talking about economics. So it's like, what good has been done for the Black community by coddling them? Specifically for the Black community, what good has come out of coddling them? What good has come out of people saying, girl, wear that bonnet, can't nobody judge you? What good has come out of, you ain't got to be as good as Candace, talk how you want, honey. That's right, Ebonics is the shit. Don't worry about them white people. Why you acting white? Why you talking white? What good has come to Black people from coddling them in that way and holding their hand? You have to draw lines in the sand. You have to draw the lines in the sand. And that's not race or ethnicity specific. You have to draw lines in the sand.
So no civil rights leader has ever done any good for the Black community.
That's a great.
I wouldn't argue that.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because
but you're moving the goalpost.
That's one of the things I wanted to bring up too. Those was a whole different brand of Negro. The whole different brand. We can't even a whole different time, a whole different brand. Like what? Like what we're dealing with right now.
We don't even want to take a day off from work.
Right. You can't even compare. Cannot even compare.
Most of those cats were dead.
Right. Like they was about that life. They were really about that life. Right. We can't get people to do the bare minimum. I mean, and I keep going back to this because this was so amazing. This was an amazing case study. When that Black woman said she won't date a bus driver because she has certain standards and her standards look like this based off of what she's done in her life. They came at that woman like she was the worst person in the world. The worst thing you can say in today's Black community is step it up. Do better. Can't we do better? You can ask it in a question. You can sing it in a song. You put it in the ABC book. It is not going to be received well at all. And they will defend Black degeneracy with their life. And
let me say this before, because I know Haran, you want to say something. Let me say something regarding Black civil rights leaders. Without a doubt, or like, would this happen? Without a doubt, if Martin was alive today talking that shit, if Malcolm was alive today talking that shit, Twitter would drag the fuck out of them. Fuck your God.
Yes.
You think you better than me. Ain't you sleeping around on your white? Look at this motherfucking cheater trying to tell us what to do. Fuck you and your kumbaya. We're going to do if they were alive today, they'd be getting fucking dragged on Twitter. Okay? They'd be getting fucking dragged. Without a doubt. Like, I don't even have a doubt. That's what would be happening.
So wait one second,
okay.
I just gotta ask a quick question. Dave, I just gotta ask a quick question. So essentially, are you saying that the system should create provisions and essentially fix itself in order to ensure that the Black community or the poor thrives?
Who you asking?
David, I'm asking you, Dave.
Okay, say it one more time. That
I'm basically asking
no,
you.
the system isn't going to fix itself. I'm as frustrated as you are with the system. I don't understand how it gets fixed at this point.
Okay, so this is my perspective. This is my perspective. I think that the Black community, spends far too much time worrying about and hoping that the system corrects itself or creates situations and for them to pull themselves out of the muck that they're in. Whether that be reparations, yada, yada, whatever that may be, rather than actually taking what's actually on the table, available, putting in the work, and moving forward. That's where I'm seeing a lot of that's what I essentially disagree with overall when it comes to this, what I'm seeing. And Charles Coleman, Candace Owens is irrelevant. Well, okay, yeah, she's irrelevant. Let's just say that. But you know what's still going to be relevant? The test scores and the failing kids in school. You people don't talk about what's important. You constantly keep talking about the messenger. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Get your head in the game and understand that there are far more dire situations going on than your biases and your opinions about the messenger. Seriously. I'll pass the mic on that.
I think it's
Can I
easy
say
to
something?
attack. Yeah, I just think it's easy to attack Candace Owens because she's a black woman. I think it's just even easier. Oh, you black talking that, and you a black woman? You better get in your place. I think it's just easy.
I will say this though about Bill Cosby. Before he got caught up in those allegations, when he was talking that pound cake shit, black people came. They were throwing darts at that motherfucker. They was like,
How dare he ask us? I mean, he was talking about why you name your kids Shaniqua and Tyrone, and they tore his ass up.
All that.
When he told black people pull your pants up, they tore his ass up.
But the moment he got involved and victimized by the system, he became a black man under the gun again. You see how this works?
Bingo.
Perception of the shit, the sickness of it. But anyway,
Whatever fits the narrative.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is, bro.
To perpetuate
Luis,
not doing anything, not working, not
absolutely.
Luis.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, you wanted to say something.
Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah,
Give
sure.
me 1 second.
No problem.
Sorry.
What are you saying? No, Saint. You were saying something.
Oh my goodness! I gotta reboot again.
20 minutes ago.
No. Listen, the problem. Okay.
Right.
Again,
Listen, this is a pact. So write your notes, everybody.
Yeah,
if you're gonna forget what you're gonna say.
I got it back. So Candace Owens, like I said, I have no problem with what she said, but it hits me the wrong way because who she's preaching it to, right? She's preaching it mostly to white people. Not just that. She's a rich, wealthy woman. I don't know how wealthy is. I'm not looking at her pockets, but if she really was that concerned, because reading a book on economics, although it may help you when you go to the store, is not going to get you a degree. And if you grew up in a place where resources were not, Haran's a perfect example. He's sending his kid to private school. So we know a lot of public schools are garbage, right? I live where I live right now because the schools are good. If I lived close to where my mom lives, the schools are garbage. And I didn't want my kids going to school that was where you have to sit there and worry about you're going to get beat up or you worried about if kids are going to be talking in the class. I wanted my kids to get a decent education, at least to give them give them a chance to move on. So she wants to really help people. Why isn't she putting money into a school and say, hey, if you read these books and get great scores, you can come to my school free of charge? But she's not doing that. She's standing up there and she's preaching a bunch of white people and telling them every little racist talking point, plus some good points that you brought up, Jen. But she's also doing a lot of bad stuff. That's all.
I mean, now I noticed the goalposts being moved, right? Maybe she can't afford to build a school and bring all the failing black children in there. That's unrealistic. She is not LeBron James. Okay. It is unrealistic. So now you want her to do more.
No, it's just better than standing up and doing what she's doing.
Why is it better if she's telling
somebody
people
to read a book?
What are you telling them? No, Saint.
I'm telling them to get education, but I'm not Candace Owens either.
But
I don't have the bullhorn that Candace Owens has to talk to people.
But you can. A lot of white people have the bullhorn. We all got the bullhorn here.
It's bad that she has a platform. It's bad.
No, I'm saying
what I'm thinking is she's telling black people she has a platform. A lot of people watching her, and she's telling black people that they should be more educated in economics. But that's bad, because she's not opening up a school for them.
It's not bad.
So what's wrong with her?
But you're saying it's not enough. I'm sure their parents told them. Many people's parents say the same thing.
No. See, now you keep diverting. I'm talking about Candace Owens. And there are a lot of people out here without parents worth a shit. That is why Fresh and Fit has 1 million followers. That is why Kevin Samuels has 1 million followers. That is why Pearly Things has 1 million followers. Because apparently a lot of motherfuckers who had parents weren't worth a damn. And everybody's looking for a parent online. So let's not talk about people had parents. Of course, all our parents told us, finish school. All our parents said that.
Right.
Broke parents,
and
rich
that's what
parents.
She's telling them.
All right, then. And she's also telling them, read this so you can stop fucking complaining about being black in America and you could be closer to financial independence. What is wrong? I'm waiting for what's wrong with that. First, there's nothing wrong with it. Now it's not enough.
Look,
Now tomorrow,
I'm just saying, it's fine, but don't act like
she shouldn't be. So she shouldn't be telling black people to improve at all because she's not opening up a school for them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's for the power she has to tell somebody to read a book on economics.
What
Fine, that's
power?
great.
What power though? What power? I'm confused. What power does she have?
She's got a much more powerful platform than many people. She's got more money than many people. She has the ear of many people. But the problem is she has the ear of many white people.
No,
she doesn't have as many ears of many black people.
I don't want Candace Owens doing that shit. No, I because she's, you know why? Because she's a soft target. Again, I want to talk when the day that I get up, or maybe even risk my own life on this shit. The day we want to talk about the black church not investing in the community because they can buy the schools.
For sure,
they can create the program.
They charge you to go to school.
They can do all kinds of things. They can do a number of the things, a number of the issues that you're saying that's in the community that you're saying that Candace should be doing. The black community, the black churches actually.
I don't disagree with you there either.
Now,
you're not gonna.
Now here's the thing. What do they invest in? They invest in food drives and shit like that. Yeah, that's cool. But you know what I mean, they're still going out there, you know what I mean, they come in hungry, but they leave full and stupid. So here's the thing, man. That element of the community needs to invest in the community. And that's the dirty little thing that nobody wants to discuss, man. People don't want to discuss that, and it's disgusting.
My thing is the soft target thing. There are a lot of talking heads, but for some reason, it's easy to attack Candace Owens, and I'm just trying to find out why. What's the hard on with Candace Owens when a lot of people are doing the same shit? Tommy Lahren is doing the same shit. How many times does Tommy Lahren get brought up? But when Candace Owens says the same exact thing, oh, you're a coon, you're this, you're that. Now she's trying to teach economics to fucking black people. That's not enough because she's not opening up schools.
Because
so what the fuck? What the fuck?
Because it goes against.
Well, first of all, you got to. First of all, we got to know if those kids can read because they've been going to shitty school their whole life.
But she talks about that too. That's the thing that she talks about that too.
We know what it is. Let's stop beat around the bush. Candace Owens is not the doting, coddling, you know what I mean, perception of black motherhood that so many black men and black people, you know what I mean, cater, you know what I mean, want in their lives.
And white allies too, because they agree with black people getting coddled. I don't know if it's white guilt or whatever, but they agree with black people getting coddled because they're an ally. And to be an ally, you have to go with the masses, and the masses in the community want to be coddled. Let's call a thing a thing. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
If she was talking that, you know what I mean, you know, that coddling shit, oh my goodness.
Remember I asked you a question, Jen, I asked you, was Puerto Rican men as coddled as black men in the Puerto Rican household? And you were like, yes, it's a real thing, right? So if it's a real thing in the household, then if you coddled in the household, you're going to leave out into the world expecting that same treatment. And I'm always talking about how when people overprotect their children and stuff like that, and they get out into the world and they realize, oh, the world's not going to coddle me. Oh, the world's not like that for real. Oh my God. And so, and that is a thing that a lot of people have a hard time talking about, is how is mostly black men are coddled. And like you said, Puerto Rican men as well. And so when that is a real thing. So because that's a real thing, that is an expectation in the world as well. But the world is not going to coddle you. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
And we saw that with Bill Cosby. When Bill Cosby was saying, pick your fucking pants up, stop naming your kids Shaniqua and Tyrone and Jamal. When he was like, you guys can't read, you fucking speak Ebonics. The same thing fucking happened with Bill Cosby. The same thing. If you're not being coddled, you are public enemy number one, or you're not saying it with enough Vaseline. You're not saying but even when you do say it nicely, you still get fucked over. So what is the real issue? What is the problem? Fucking ally. Okay. Fuck being coddled. What's the real issue? Motherfuckers are still talking reparations. They're still sitting on their ass waiting on reparations.
I got the answer.
I'm listening, Louis.
Hello?
I'm listening.
First of all, hello, everybody. Thank you for having me up.
Welcome.
I'm gonna get a little toxic up here, and it might be offensive.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
That's what we're doing tonight. We're offending people tonight.
All right. The black community right now is very, very domesticated. And I hate to say this, and this may hurt some feelings. The black community as a whole, I'm talking a general aspect. They're so brainwashed, they do not want freedom. All they're looking for is a more compassionate slave master. Plain and simple. And the thing which you mentioned, the most dangerous people that we should be afraid of is the ones that's controlling things that we do not see. They're playing both sides, the so-called right and the so-called left. And the black community, you could say, is like the canary in the coal mine for this whole society. And especially for the white chaps out there, white supremacy was the biggest joke ever played on white people because they convinced y'all that y'all skin color was more important than your economic standing. And it's so mind-boggling where you got society right now so divided on these two extreme ideologies, and both sides are getting played. If you're looking right now where we might be going into a full-fledged depression, and probably the only solution is that the shit hits the proverbial fan where everybody is suffering and everybody is seeing that we getting played the fuck out by this system. And it was another point I had written down in my brain. I hate that when I have a brain fart. Oh, I'll come back later when it comes back up. But those were my talking points right there. And sorry about the ramble.
It's the people that don't suffer in that depression. Those are the ones we should be looking at.
Oh, this is what it is. Sorry. Here's the thing with this, especially pertaining to the black community. Nobody owes you shit. And this goes to what Haran said. We don't understand power. We don't understand how politics work. We're illiterate in economics. Power only respects one thing, and that's fucking power. When you have power, you reward your allies and you punish your fucking enemies. And those that don't have power, anything you get is by mere charity. And if you don't have power, you don't have the right to live. You don't have the right to breathe. You don't even have the right to fucking eat. Any of those things you get is by mere charity. And we're so brainwashed. Like I said, we're domesticated fucking animals. Like, we want woe is me, feel sorry for me. Nobody owes you shit. And unfortunately, the community is done. The really on time we had to get our shit together was probably in the 60s. Now the black community is a minority. When we were the majority minority, we had the opportunity. But there's other minorities that's going to be the majority here. And guess what? It's over. And they're fighting for power. And we're still crying, bitching, and moaning instead of getting our shit together as a whole. And this country is practically a caste system. There's winners and there are fucking losers in this country. If you do the right thing and go after power, you're a winner. If you don't do the shit, what you're supposed to do in life, and get your shit together, you're going to be a fucking loser. And you're going to be at the mercy of those with power. And I'll land my plane.
Okay, so I wanted to read something really quickly from the infamous pound cake speech that Bill Cosby did 2004. Kari says the problem is we all get played, but black folk get played with extra on top. Is it because black people are more emotional and easy to play? Answer that for me, Kari. So Bill Cosby said, and of course I can't read this whole thing, it's a long speech, people getting shot in the back of the head over a piece of pound cake. Then we all run out and are outraged. The cop shouldn't have shot him. What the hell was he doing with the pound cake in his hand? Cosby said in his 2004 speech to the NAACP, which became known as the pound cake speech, because of the aforementioned antidote. Ladies and gentlemen, in our cities and public schools, we have 50% dropout. In our own neighborhood, we have men in prison. No longer is a person embarrassed because they're pregnant without a husband. No longer is a boy considered an embarrassment if he tries to run away from being the father of the unmarried child. Same exact sentiments, same exact words that Candace Owens says. Bill Cosby was villainized for this, the same way Candace Owens is villainized for this. So it's like you can't win. If you coddle them, everybody's fucked anyway. If you tell them, get up off your ass, wash your ass, you're fucked up anyway. So we have to be looking at what is the common denominator here? What's the common denominator here? Because you say it nicely, that's no good. You say it in a bad way, not enough Vaseline. What's the common denominator here? What are we talking about? What are we doing? What are we doing?
From my personal perspective, the way that I am, and we'll just look at it politically, I'm more so very much a mercenary, I guess, in some terms. There's just some shit I will do, some shit I won't do. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily lean all the way, Republican. I don't necessarily lean all the way Democratic, because I understand that at the end of the day, it is about power. And at times things, there must be compromises. There must be things that, decisions that need to be made in order to basically triumph in the long run. Look, after this show, and here's one of the cold truths. After this show, I have the freedom to go buy a greasy, terrible, heart-inducing, stopping burger because some innocent people got bombs dropped on them in some godforsaken fucking country. Now, yes, that is America. That is what it is about. That is power. It creates a situation where if you benefit from it, you can live in a life of comfort. You can live in a life, where there's gates, where you're shielded from all of these things. Black people live in that kind of world. The microcosm that is America, they are behind their own enemy lines and so on and so forth. Yes, we agree with that, but they still have a lot more opportunities and a lot more things to work with than those prior to them 30 or 50 years ago. And they're not using these things. They're not using these opportunities. So I say to you, all of those people 50 or 60 years ago, did they die in vain? Did they waste their breath? Seems like they did. Maybe, and I'll say this, the way that I'm seeing this shit, maybe we were just better off slaves.
God damn. The sentiments and opinions on the block with Jen are not necessarily the opinions of the host.
if you free and you're not gonna take that shit to the fucking, you're not gonna take that shit to the health, you're a fucking sucker. You're weak. And you should have just stayed up chained.
Damn.
No, and Hieronymus, I have to piggyback on that because I had to have that same exact speech with my personal self. No, dead ass. I was y'all know I have a history. We've watched the film and stuff like that, right? And I remember when I was starting all over, I didn't have anything, right? And the first thing was like I wanted to, the first thing I wanted to go to my list of plausible excuses. I'm black, I'm trans, I'm, what do you call it? Ex-con. I have a list of plausible excuses. I was ready to go to it, right? But then I had that same talk with myself and I said, but technically, if you like poverty for you, American, black or white, black American, for me to stay there would be a choice. There's places in the world that they don't have a choice and they're stuck. If you're born in that caste system, you're stuck. There's no chance. I at least have a chance, and not to take that chance is a choice, right? If I choose to stay there, it is a choice to stay in poverty. Like, yes, I could be born in it, but to stay there is an absolute choice. And we could gain and lose, but at least I have a choice to be able to have a chance to do something different. And a lot of people aren't taking those chances. And that's why an immigrant can come over from anywhere and be able to make it because they know what it's like to have no choices, no options, and nothing, right? So when they come over here, they're like, what the fuck are y'all doing with your options? You're not doing anything. Don't worry about it. I'll take it. I'll take the options. I'll take the choices. That's why I don't get problems. I don't have a problem with the whole immigration thing for the most part, because it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Immigration in itself, the subject of immigration, I'm gonna let you guys, everyone know this, and whatever ideas you have about it, just shut the fuck up about it. Immigration is a dog and pony show fucking topic, okay? These motherfuckers are not going to do anything when in regards to immigration. These billion-dollar companies, they save millions on hiring illegals. Okay, illegals have kept this country moving for centuries. So if you think for a second that the Great Wall is going to finally built and they're going to keep, them damn, illegals and whatever wetbacks you like to say out of the country, that shit's not going to happen. But anyway, I pass on that.
Yeah, and not just that, we need immigrants to keep the population going. And that's why countries that don't have immigration are, and some of these countries that are struggling with their population collapse, is because nobody's going there. We actually need immigrants here. And that's what people don't realize.
Define needing immigrants.
Okay, so when as you see in most of the Western societies, and China and Japan, Korea, Italy, not France, because France has immigration, Germany. And if it weren't for immigration in the United States would be that number 2. They're not having as many babies to replace the population. So eventually people get the people that are in their primary earning capacity, which is between, say, 30 and 50, 30 and 60, get old. And then there's nobody there to furnish in other words, there's nobody there putting money back into the system. So the population gets old. So when you look at all these countries, China they're talking about China having 600 million people in the next 50 years. They're a billion right now. China has a huge problem right now. So all this thing about China taking over ain't going to happen. They're in their prime right now. So the United States needs these immigrants. They need immigrants to keep the population going, especially young people, the people that work. Or
we could promote Americans having.
That's not going to happen because what we've learned is when we get off the farm, that kids are a pain in the ass and they're expensive. So we have less of them because we want to enjoy traveling and we want to enjoy a bigger house and we want to enjoy all these things. And if you have 10 kids, you're probably going to be broke unless you're making a lot of money.
So you had to have 10 kids.
Well, I'm just saying, but you have to have probably every family should at least have 3, and not everybody's doing that. So and some people aren't having kids at all. So go ahead.
When you say immigration, you're talking about people who are coming here, going through due process to, make a new life and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, for sure. That would be the better thing to do, of course. But what Haran said is also true. The problem isn't the people coming over here illegally. The problem is the people hiring those people to come over here. Because if they didn't have a job, they wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
So we're blaming the wrong people. The people that are broke, I don't blame at all. Because you would do the same thing. I would do the same thing if I was desperate. I would be trying to cross somebody's border and make a better life for myself. So I'm not blaming those people.
As I want, it's still wrong. Like, again, we can understand and sympathize. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I definitely understand and sympathize. But like, if it's against the rules. So if it's against the rules, I'm not
Sir, the person who makes
slavery was a rule at one point too.
No,
slavery was a rule at one point too.
And just because something is legal doesn't make it right necessarily, but
right.
I don't think we should just people should just be allowed to go anywhere just because and just like be there. I mean, I think there should be some process. I think a little bit like how like you get American citizenship, like we can tone some of that down because like a little bit of it is a bill crazy. So I can definitely see like maybe. So I want to
ask a question to everybody, to the chat, the lurkers, the people on the panel. I want to ask a question, right? right, the number one complaint of Black Americans is white supremacy. Right? There's not enough food. There's not enough education. There's not enough jobs. There's racism. Racism is a big thing, right? But it's the white man, right? I'm talking about a certain demographic. Thank the stars in the heaven above that my circle of Black American friends are all doing amazingly. They're wonderful people. They have self-determinism. They're not into the defeatist shit. That's just my tribe. It is what it is. So I'm not talking, some not all, but my sign is over there, so I can't put it up. I'm talking about the demographic that's always complaining about white supremacy and white supremacy talking points and the Candace Owens is a coon and, you know, all that shit. Do you think that immigrants, when they come here as people of color, whether they are brown, all the way to pitch from Haiti, right? Do you think that they would be victims or susceptible to the same white supremacy and racism and food deserts and bad education as Black Americans are here? Do you think they would fall? Do you think they're going to be victim to that? And then they also don't speak English. So you think they're going to fall under that as soon as they get here?
No.
Do they? Do they?
They don't.
Because they don't.
So no.
Okay, so
they're often
why
coming from worse circumstances than what we endure here.
Okay, so my question is, right? Because they're coming here and you don't speak the English, the language, and you look Black. Oh Lord, right? Don't have an education, right? Yet they blow past these people that are waiting for reparations. Okay, my dad was one of them, so you can't tell me shit about shit. I saw that shit in my own fucking house. All right, so you can't tell me it doesn't exist. Okay, had a hell of a heavy Latin accent, by the way. Looked like Haran without a Yankee cap. Okay, so doesn't that prove? And we can't say, well, they're anomalies. It's on a case-by-case basis. The majority of immigrants who come here bust their ass working, and then they have that first generation of children who go off to college. Then I see all up and down on my timeline in June with, you know, the Mexican girl, the Ecuadorian girl, the El Salvadorian girl takes off her cap and gown and puts it on her parents because she's the first one that graduated. This is happening all up and down my timelines, all up and down. And these people, you know, they come here, they don't speak the language, they're Black and they're brown, so they have no white privilege, right? Everywhere they go, speak English, you in America, right? To the point where now Black people are telling them, speak English, you in America. We've seen that too, all up and down the timelines. So again, I ask, what is the common denominator? What is the real problem? Because it's not Candace Owens, and it's not immigration, and it's not white supremacy. What's the real issue? If an immigrant can come here, not have English be the first line, come here with 3-4 kids in tow, with clothes on their back, fucking go into a 1-bedroom apartment with 10 kids, push them all through college. Like, so what's the real issue here with America, with Black Americans, is that they're not spoken to nice enough. They're not. Candace Owens is mean, telling them to go learn economics, but she's not building schools. Like, what's the real issue? Why isn't anybody talking about the real issue? What's the real issue with that demographic of people that wants to wear the bonnets at the fucking airport or wants to go to spring break in Miami and twerk on cop cars? What's the real issue? Why are we not talking about that? Because we're going to be coons if we talk about that?
No.
It's fair. Look, it's fair on both ends. One group of people fears failure, and one group of people fears success. I believe that Black Americans, you know what I mean, they need that cloud of oppression, being oppressed or feeling oppressed, because without that, they have to be held responsible for themselves. It's like a kid. Wait 1 second. It's like a kid who essentially says, you know, after you talked all that shit about living under your parents' roof, okay, it's time to get out. And then all of a sudden, they have a sense of fear that strikes in their heart, like, oh shit, I gotta go out there and go find my own shit. I have to go eat what I fucking killed. Here's the thing, and I'm just passing the mic on this, maybe for the night, because, you know what I mean, I just have one more thing to say. If you demand that your oppressor fixes your life, right? After he created a number of situations that he assumed would help you fix your life, aren't you conceding that this person is better suited to give you the life that you desire?
Mute your mics until you speak. Mute your mics until you speak, please.
And aren't you conceding that this person is better suited to give you the life that you desire instead of yourself? Aren't you essentially saying, maybe subconsciously or by exercise that this person is superior to you? Aren't you ironically giving into the idea of white supremacy? And I'll just pass the mic on that.
Anybody want to answer that? I want to pass the mic to James Oakle, because he's been trying to get up here for like the past hour.
Yeah, thanks. I was having some technical difficulties, so bear with me. But yeah, so the Democratic Party, right? They you guys can hear me okay, right? You can. My audio
Yes, we
is
can.
fine. Okay, so the Democratic Party, they take advantage of black people. They take advantage of the black vote. I think that more black people should vote Republican. And I'm not saying I think more black people should vote Republican because I think Republicans are the better party. I just think that the way power works in this country is power is taken, it's not given. And I would rather have the two parties fight over us, and I feel like we would get more from that than just conceding all of our vote to the Democratic Party. As far as Candace Owens goes, are there some things that Candace Owens says that are right? Yeah. Anybody can say some things that are right, and Candace Owens has the right to her voice. She has the right to her opinion, but we have to be honest about Candace Owens. Candace Owens, along with Jesse Lee Peterson and people of that ilk, they're right-wing political hacks, okay? And Candace Owens is a political prostitute, okay? There's nothing she won't say for money. You know what I mean? And anybody who doesn't recognize that, if you have a person that won't tell the truth about Candace Owens, it's because that person is trying to ride that same wave. There's profit in trashing black people politically. There's money to be made there. Somebody's like, hey, instead of going to a 9-to-5, I can just trash black people online and I can become a millionaire off doing that, and I can get booked for speaking fees, and I can travel to different universities, and I can become rich off of trashing black people. Yeah, it's people that will do that for sure. And the thing is, what's funny is this is an interesting panel. Everybody has really good perspectives, and everybody has different views. I really like what Saint and what David have to say. It might be maybe kind of ironic that to me, they are the most reasonable, some of the more reasonable people. Their views align with my views a little bit more. I completely back up Saint when he says, clearly Candace Owens and the right-wing conservative think tanks like the Koch brothers and stuff like that, they pay black people clearly to say things that they won't say. Clearly, it's money in that. And so I like that David and Saint have like integrity to like basically tell the truth. And I think my dad is Nigerian, right? So I was raised differently, you know what I mean? I wasn't really raised like traditional way that most black people were raised in this country. So I think because of that,
Hold on, James. Can you be specific? What's that mean? I really want to know.
It means that black people are raised in a way they harbor a lot of self-hatred and they're very self-deprecating. Black people, not all, and I'm not even saying, of course, I'm not personally talking about nobody on this panel. You know that.
No. Listen, if it was true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. So just say what you got.
Yeah. So a lot of black people are very self-deprecating. I know white people can see that. White people know that. Any intelligent white person on this panel, like David and Saint, can clearly see like, wow, like what's going on here? Like, really? If you just covered the panel with a hand, you would think it's like conservative, which I don't have a problem with conservatives, but a lot of the conservative views, would conservatives even be welcoming of everybody on this panel? But what I'm saying is, it's funny because I hear black people this and black people that. Like, I hear like, it's a lot of like, and I'm not talking about anybody on this panel, okay? I wouldn't come up here and disrespect anybody on this panel. But it's a lot of non-black people that have a lot of views about black people. But it's funny to me because when these people were in their fiscal prime, they chose to clone a black man. So clearly, I guess they're not that bad after all, black guys. But I just don't understand how what's being removed from this conversation is the nuance. Okay, Candace Owens is paid to say what white people want to hear her say. Okay, and if you ignore that, it's because you yourself are trying to go down that route. You're trying to become rich.
Okay, James, you're being okay. Now you're veering into
okay,
redundancy.
okay,
You're
okay,
veering into redundancy.
okay.
So, I love when you come up here. The cowardice is not really you. The only non-black person up here that you don't agree with is me. So you can direct it to me. You don't have to be a coward when you come up. I allow all differences of opinion. However, I am glad that you're up here because you are Exhibit A. White people on the panel. This is the type of black person I'm talking about. And the fact that he just agrees with the two of you proves exactly what I said. When white people are allies and they coddle black people, the defeatist black Negroes will agree with the white people on the panel. Why doesn't he agree with 4 other people? Of course, I'm non-black, but 4 other people. He chose the 2 white people that were kumbayaing with the black people. He didn't choose Spro. He didn't choose Lily. He didn't choose Haran. He didn't choose me to agree with. Why? Because we are not defeatists. We say, get up off your ass, wash it, get out there, get your shit, and stop blaming the white man for it. So Exhibit A always pops up, always. But now you see what exactly, he came perfect timing per usual, exactly what I was talking about. You 2 white men were coddling black. No, Candace Owens is this, and no, but black people this, and black, and what does the defeatist Negro do? He comes up and agrees with the white allies. This is exactly what I was talking about. He's not going to agree with the 4 people of color up here who are talking about get up off your ass and do what you got to do. This is Exhibit A. James, we always appreciate you up here, but let's not do the coward thing. You could call me by my name, honey. It's all right. It's all right. It's perfectly okay. Okay. And another thing is, and I want to say this, and then I'll pass the mic back to you or whoever else wants it. But here's the thing. I think it's silly for anyone to pick a political side. But the Democrats, it's a two-headed snake. It's a two-headed snake. Neither party has improved the quality of your life. At the end of the day, no matter who's sitting in the White House, your black ass has to go out there and get yours because nobody's handing out shit. Now, you can hold your breath and wait for reparations, wait for the white people to do Black Lives Matter and stand next to you. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. All you fucking want. But at the end of the day, okay, there are countless millions of black people saying fuck white supremacy, fuck the white allies, fuck everybody. I'm getting me and mine. I'm starting generational wealth for my family. All my fucking kids are going to college. We are going to fucking work. We're going to read. We're going to be fucking well-versed in economics and life in general and everything. Fuck everything. I know many of them. They're in my phone. I am related to them. And yes, I laid with them, bitch, because I know you try to throw shade at me. All right. And I didn't make another black man. I made another black woman. Anything else before I pass the mic?
Yeah. Well, okay, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, James, I'm just curious. What do we particularly disagree on? Let's just you and me.
Okay, look, Haran, I agree with a lot of. First of all, I do think I always say work your hardest. Like go out there. Listen, okay, if I were to talk to black people, I'd say this, right? I don't really push for reparations and stuff too because nobody is going to give up a competitive advantage, okay? Power is not given, it's taken, okay? Nobody, you're wasting your time. So I do believe in working hard. I work hard myself, okay? I'm a hardworking person, okay? I'm a successful person, okay? And Jen, if you tuck anything personally, like, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm not trying to argue. I'm not trying.
Yeah, but no, James. Let's be clear. It's not about taking things personal. Is that you spoke roundabout because you're a coward. You were addressing me though. Let's be intellectually honest. Let's not. Come on. Don't be a man-child. You were addressing me. You were throwing shots at me, but you were afraid to do it directly, and that's fine. I'm just the type of person that's going to point it out. I'm going to bring you out of the cowardice. I'm gonna pull you out of that, and I'm gonna slap that yellow stripe off your back. I'm just that type of woman. But I'm just letting you know that all of this is not an echo chamber. You could have came up here and disagreed vehemently, and I would have respected that more than the shots and the shade you tried to throw. Like you up here talking like Wendy Williams. Talk to me direct. You are a man with a penis hanging from your fucking torso, and that's what I expect when you come up here. That's all I'm saying. So it's not about I took it personal. It's that you're literally directing me, right? You're directing your shit at me, but you're hiding it. You're throwing the rock and hiding it. And I'm from New York, bitch. I'm gonna point it out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
listen. You
Just
know
gotta
what,
just
Jen?
gotta
You know what?
speak to people directly, James. That's all. It's
That's
You
all.
know, you know what, Jen? You know what? Listen, you are right. You're right. And it takes a real man to say that. Yeah, you know what? I was talking to you. I was. And but I didn't want to come on your platform and like basically like I know you got touchy about like I've heard you get touchy about when basically people mention like pride too much into you. So yeah, I was talking about you, but it's nothing
Thank you.
personal.
See?
It's
Doesn't
not,
it feel? Didn't that feel
yeah,
good? Didn't that
it's
feel
cool.
good, James?
It's cool. It's cool. I was, but because that is interesting to me. Like it is. Like you didn't. I mean, look. I mean, if black men are so bad, why did you choose to have a baby with one?
But who said black men are bad? But this is what. Okay, wait.
Yo.
Wait. Un momento. That's why I wanted to discuss this Candace Owen things today, because I agree with her 100%. Okay. 90% of my content is of various, varied topics, all kinds of stuff. However, because you are a black man, whenever you hear the word black, you're the one that gets triggered, not me. I have a lot of other shit, but say again.
Why not have a cup of coffee with her? Like you said, I might not want to have a cup of coffee with her. Why not?
With who? What are you talking about now?
With Candace Owens. You said, I agree with a lot of the stuff she said. You said that before. But you said, I might not want to have lunch with her. You said something like that. So why not? Why wouldn't you want to? Like,
I said, what are you I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
So
I said, wait a minute. No, don't tell me what I said. Okay. I know what I said. I said that she is a broken clock. And then we made fun of she's right twice a day. And I said, no, maybe she's right 3 times a day. When I say that about somebody, I don't really give a fuck about them, but I do respect that she says whatever the fuck she wants, despite all the defeatist black people like, no, you're a coon. I love people that are bold, not just black people that are bold, white people that are bold. I'm a fan of George Carlin and Bill Maher and Joe Rogan. I'm just a fan of people who shoot from the hip regardless. But because you are a black man, you are personalizing it. I'm not personalizing it. You're personalizing it. Every time you come up here, you beat off to the idea that I have an issue with black men. How could I have an issue with black men when there's nothing but black men in my family immediately related to my father? Looks like Haran, who I fucking respect to my fucking core. But, again, it's the Candace Owens thing. Whenever black people hear the word black, if they're already feeling a ways about themselves, right? Because you came up here and you're talking about self-hate, but it's really you guys that are uncomfortable about being black. It's really you guys. No. It's really you guys that are uncomfortable about being black at the end of the day. Nah. I would question that. You wouldn't get so offended.
Let me ask you something, David. Excuse me, James. Excuse me. James, let me ask you something. How do you think I feel about black people, particularly black men?
Haran, bro, I don't know how you feel about black people because I've been on a panel with you a few times. I'm not about to make blanket statements about your views about black people because honestly, brother, I don't know you like that, to be honest with you. Is that fair or what?
That's a fair statement because there are times when you passive aggressively say certain things about some of the things that I say, when you're in the chat, when the best thing for you is to actually come up and say it to me. Because I'll express a particular view about black people, black men, and you'll say something in the chat, that's contrary to it, and it sounds very passive aggressive. And I've invited you up here, you don't say anything, and now you have the opportunity to essentially tell me, hey, I don't necessarily particularly like some of the things maybe you say about black men, black people, yada yada, so on and so forth. Now you're basically saying that you have no opinion at all. Nothing.
No, I do have an opinion, but like you seem like tell me what specifically I said in the chat. Like tell me what I said and we could talk about that. Like tell me what I said that made you feel that way.
Well, yesterday I particularly said something and I saw in the chat that you said that I was baiting you. I don't recall definitely what I actually said, but maybe I was baiting you. I don't know. But
okay.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, okay. So you said, listen, okay, so check this out, right? You said black men are coddled.
Coddled,
Are
yes,
they coddled are they coddled before or after they're incarcerated at a higher rate? Are they coddled before or after college graduates are hired at a lower rate than whites with a high school diploma? Was Ahmaud Arbery coddled before or after he was shot for jogging in a neighborhood? Was Philando Castile coddled before or after he was shot pulling out a registered firearm out of his glove compartment? So some of these things you guys say when you say black people are coddled,
Those two things are not
Those are
relative.
things that are not connected at all. Like, stop. I'm
They're
sorry.
not connected at all. I just want to say that. And that was a very, very, how should I say, that was a victim move. That was a victim move. You tried it though. You tried it. I give that to you. But continue. I'm gonna let you land the plane.
And by the way, I said that I like Jennifer Lopez as a hustle, but I wouldn't hang with her. Does that sting you, James? Does that bother you?
So let me, okay, you listen, I can only respond to
Does that bother you that I said that I respect Jennifer Lopez's hustle, but I wouldn't hang out with her? Does that bother you that I wouldn't hang out with Jennifer Lopez?
You throw baby shots at Latino people. You would never.
Okay, let's answer the question. Answer the question. Just answer the question.
No, it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you because she's not black, which proves my point. Whenever you hear the word black, it's like a bat signal, and you guys come out swinging because the word black. So you're a hypocrite. It's not that you have an issue with my stance in general. You just have an issue whenever the word black is used. Same thing as Candace Owens. Right? When she talks about white people, you give zero fucks. When she says something about black people, you come a running, or you'll move the goalpost. You just throw baby shots at Latin people. You throw baby shots at Latin people. But when I'm praising the black men that I know, where the fuck are you? Where are you?
Speak for a second.
Are you lurking? Are you lurking? What are you doing? You just waiting for, you one of those people that you're like the Facebook people that just waits for something to disagree with, and you're like, yay, I have something to talk about.
Jen, you yourself, I sat here and heard you on this panel say, you said, don't sit around and act like most black people are good men. You said most black men are not good men. Are not good people. You said that. You said there are a few in my contacts.
Lily, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Most black men. You said most black men are not good men. You said that on this panel. You said that. You were like, hey, there's a few in my contacts, but let's not pretend like most black men are good men. You said
that's literally the opposite of what she said. But okay, no, literally, and because she has said that statement, the opposite, a million times.
Jen, do you think most black men are good?
But again, but again,
that's
here's
weird,
the thing.
Man. That's weird.
You know why it's weird? But I know where it comes from. Wait a minute. I know where this comes from. Again, I spoke about this earlier on Facebook. A lot of these guys like James, respectfully, they spend countless hours on YouTube. They go to Cynthia G. They go watch all the people they hate. They go to Cynthia G. They go to this one. They go to that one. And what they do is they just start parroting things, and they forget. They convolute everybody they watched, and it's like they forget. It's like who said that? Who said they don't like black men? Jen is on. Let me go over there and see what Jen's talking about. And they mix everybody in a bowl. I've never said that shit. I actually said it the fucking opposite way. But they just today. Guy, they were talking about black leadership in the community, right? And I was saying that black men the guy was like, it was a podcast, and the guy was like, Umar Johnson was like, you guys need to be leaders in your community. He was talking to black men, and the black guy was like, oh shit, black women ain't gonna allow that. My response was, my father, who would be considered black in this country, didn't ask any woman's permission to lead. He fucking led. And when he walked in the room, we knew he was a leader. So what is it with men asking women for permission in the black community to be leaders, right? You know what this guy told me? Now, mind you, I haven't seen this guy from a hole in the wall, don't know him, don't know me, never interacted with him on social media. He goes into a whole fucking rant about how I support feminists and this and that. And I'm actually an anti-feminist. I'm actually known in certain circles as a fucking female chauvinist pig, to be quite honest. So he's going on and on and on about feminism and Cynthia G. And I'm like, hasn't asked me what my stance was on feminism, doesn't even know me from a can of paint. But they're online and they're listening to their YouTube daddies. And then we get this. Jen, you said most black men ain't good. I'm like, are you on the right channel, sir? Are you
Yes or
even
no?
on the right channel?
Yes or no? It's
I'm
hot
not
on the
gonna
block.
no, I'm not gonna answer that because it's stupidity.
Yes or no? It's hot on the
If
block.
if respectfully, if you're stupid enough to run with a narrative that you thought you heard here and accuse me of it, no, I'm not gonna. I mean, you claim you watch this channel all the time, and yet you don't. This is weird.
It's very weird. Like, I mean,
I'm not on. I'm not on YouTube. I'm
he
not a
literally
YouTube
turned your
audience.
words all the way around. Like,
James, I just
Do
want to
you
answer
think
what you
most
said.
black men are good men?
James, I
Yes or
just want
no?
to address. I just want to address what you said earlier to me.
Yeah,
When does
you
the
won't
coddling
answer.
begin?
Who's a
When does
coward
the
now?
When's the
Oh,
coddling begin? The coddling begins way before the incidents that you explained. As a matter of fact, I will contend that a lot of the coddling probably led to a lot of those decisions that they made that got them locked up in the fucking first place. And you can take that to the bank. I have seen this 1,001 times in the black home. The women coddle the boys and they prepare the women for war. They're hard on
and
their daughters,
James,
they raise their daughters, and they coddle their sons. And their sons are used to that because the mother she breathes life into them, she nurtures them, she does all these things. She basically tells them that it's not your fault, yada yada, so on and so forth. And he goes out into the world and he wants to find a woman who essentially mirrors his mother. A lot of these brothers are out here in the world looking for their mothers. What do they say? They want to find a woman that speaks life into them. No Saint, the one of your this gentleman that you so respect. This man said he's never heard such a thing in the white community. He's never heard such a thing that needing women to actually breathe life or give life, whatever the fuck it is you motherfuckers actually claim to. He said he's never even heard of that before. But you guys, you need to be built. You need to go out there and find a woman to build you and to stand on. You need your mama, you know what I mean? And you put so much pressure on another human being to find yourself as men. And here am I saying, you don't need that woman. You just need yourself and your self-respect and your inner determinism. And here I am. I'm the enemy, right?
Yeah, look, Haran, I never said any of that. I never said I need black people. Y'all, I never said any of that. Y'all know that. Look, this is the thing, right? Let me ask Saint this. Saint, let me just ask you. Who are the main group of people on this channel, Saint? What's the main demographic that you think people on this channel are critical of? Saint.
Well, okay, I'm going to answer it like this. We talk a lot about issues that are happening in the black community. A lot of stories that are on the on the different channels with black celebrities and things like that. But white people get targeted too, and so do Latinos. It's just who you have to ask yourself who's watching and who's so if Jen talks about white people all the time, there's a bunch of and in the chat there's mostly black people. Is that really what I'm saying? I mean, so I don't think it's a target necessarily out of a vitriol or something like that.
So let me say this.
Wait, real quick. And also it can be a caring thing. I don't think anybody on here hates black people. I think, and I know Jen, Haran, and Lily don't hate black people. So
I said, no, Saint, thank you for being the Saint and answering that. James, here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to come up here and try to paint this panel with your narrative. You are a huge fanatic of On the Block with Jen, but you will not change the narrative of this show. You watch this show because I got a nice rack and we're not an echo chamber. Okay. All right. You and no one else are going to come up here and change the narrative of the show. So again, I ask you, if you think we don't like black people, then you must hate yourself because you're here all the time. I mean, you could run back what we all said 5 streams ago. So if you think that we hate black people, wouldn't that make you self-hating because you're here? Wouldn't that make you self-hating? If we don't like black people, why would someone who's proud to be black be somewhere where black people aren't liked? Either you need a therapist or you need to stop the cap. You need to stop the cap, but you're not going to paint us in a way that we aren't. The block knows what it is. So what do you want to do?
Yeah,
You want to keep trolling? What do you want to do? You want to keep trolling? What do you want to do, James?
Hey, Jen, I told you when I first came on this panel, I told you that, you know, I think you're a good content creator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I support your channel. I don't know what the animosity towards me is about.
I don't have any.
I don't have. Hot, bro. You did say that. You said she was hot. Don't
Hey, listen.
I don't have any animosity towards you, James. Anyone who I have animosity to, I would not let up here. I think you're great for the panel, although you do come from a cowardly place sometimes, and you try to throw shots and shade. And it's not personal to you. I don't even like when women do that. I don't like cowards. I like shooting from the hip. You know what I mean? And we all do that up here, and we do it well.
And
so
James,
I mean, that's all it is. But don't come up here.
James.
You're not going to come up here and I'm not going to give you airtime so you could paint a narrative of us or what percentage is it that they talk about black people and what percentage is it? Go somewhere. What you need to do is go to another channel where black people are being jerked off. That's what I would do. If I only want to hear Latin people be praised, I'm only going to go where they're being praised. But I'm not going to go somewhere else and try to flip the narrative. You understand what I'm saying? Like, go somewhere where black people are being praised. That's where you should be.
James, listen, James. Everybody likes you.
Wait 1 second, no Saint. Wait. No, not everyone. Wait 1 second, no Saint. Before you go down that road.
Oops.
Go down.
Are we ever going to get into the second topic?
Okay.
I'm going to agree with you guys.
James, I want you to understand something about this, James. This is a very weird thing. Because behind the scenes, you know what I mean, Jen actually likes when you show up. Jen actually likes your contributions. Jen actually talks about you. I think you're a fucking idiot. And I told her that a few times. Have I not said that, Janicia?
Yes, sir. But we could talk about it, James. $100 cash out.
You know what I mean? I've actually said you know what I mean? I said I've actually called you a coward. And you are displaying that right now because I know your type. Okay? Now, here's the irony of it. You're arguing with her, and she's the one that really sticks up for you most of the time. That's the thing about Jen that's really weird. You know what I mean? You guys, you see her talk about black people and so on and shit like that. And she's really doing it because it's her way of caring. She's wondering, why is this broken? I just think you motherfuckers are fucked up. And there's just no fixing you. But here I am getting dragged into these fucking topics at being asked, what do I think? So I play along. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? It's good for the algo. But overall, I don't give a fuck. Because most of you are DOA. It's just right. It's just the truth. Most of you are not making it. Most of you are out of here. And this woman doing these kinds of shows is pretty much the best bet. This is pretty much all you got.
Seriously. Behind the scenes, that is literally what it looks like. It's literally like, just like, let me help, let me. And Ron's like, fuck them all. Fuck all these
motherfuckers. So listen, I want to say something, James. So James, listen.
Oh my God.
All right, I think you bring stuff to the show. I think you're a nice guy. What you got to do, though, is really listen. If I took everything personal that everybody says on that comes on this panel, I wouldn't be on here. And I don't. It really literally just it's not because they're not talking about me. That's the way I feel. They can talk about white people all they want. That's not me. I know who I am. So what I'm saying to you is don't take it personal. You know, and not everybody likes me. I see people in the chat. Not everybody likes me either. So, but you can't take it personal because you can't please everybody. So that's all I'm saying, man. I think you bring stuff to the show. And I think, you know, you have a good, you know, your heart's in the right place and everything. I just, you know, I don't want you to take away that you're getting piled on or anything or take it personal. Because the other day we were talking atheism and we're going to talk again this Thursday, atheism versus religion. And there were people on the panel that, you know, took a little pain away, you know, but it wasn't what people were saying in the chat. But you got to ignore those kind of things because people are going to do that. That's all I'm saying.
But I'll say, but let me piggyback off of you. No Saint say this. James is also a troll. He's not a wallflower. He's not a wilting lily. All right. He dishes it out. He just does it indirectly. He throws shade. He's not. He's not. He's a troll. He's not an innocent black person who's coming up here trying to. Which why don't anybody love us? He knows what the hell he's doing. I still think he's a great addition to the panel, like Karan said. But what I don't like is the sinister, because now I feel like you fucking with the brand, and then I'll have a personal issue with you, right? When you're trying to fuck with the brand. But otherwise, I think you bring great points of view to the block. I'm not playing the shade with my panel because I'm very protective of what we've all built together. So that would be my only beef. And if he's taking it personal, No Saint, self-esteem is esteem of yourself, like Cat Williams said. We can't fix that because there could be another channel and 5 people could be talking about Puerto Rican women ain't this and that, and they all get pregnant and they're hoes or whatever. I'm not going to be like, oh, why are you attacking Puerto Rican women? Just like you said, we're not talking about you. They're not talking about me. And I'm not about to go over there and fight them and be like, why are you talking about Puerto Rican women? Bitch, you don't know me. I have nothing to do with your points of view. And if I went over there and did that, I'm already feeling a ways about being Puerto Rican. So if he's coming up here like, why don't you like black men? Who's black men? What black men? Were you called by name? Did we come up here and say, James is X, Y, and Z? No, you're just feeling injured because you hear the word black and you're like, what are they saying about black people? Because I'm one of them. Right? So if you're taking it personally, that's on you. I do not coddle. That's what No Saint is here for. I don't coddle. Either you like the content or you fucking don't.
Look, okay. I'm not taking anything personal. When I get off of this live stream, I couldn't give a fuck less. I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you think for 1 second when I get off this live stream that I'm thinking about the things that are set up here,
but that's exactly why I won't let you paint a narrative up here. That's exactly why. Because when you calm down, you don't give a fuck. You're a troll. And we appreciate the trolls. You're great. I mean, you're the guy that comes up in the suit and the silver tie. I like it.
I know. Nothing I say is the truth.
It's a great stick.
I like it. You look like Kanye. Listen, bro, you look like Kanye. Listen. Go ahead, baby. What you got?
Listen, okay? Listen, okay? I don't care about this. I mean, I don't take anything personal. And, you know, Jen, listen, right? You're an attractive woman, but, you know, sometimes you have to tell women what they want to hear to get on their good side. I came on this panel and you asked me, am I not attractive? And I said, oh, okay, yeah, you're a good looking woman. I mean, but, you know, I mean, I don't know. Listen, I like being on the panel. I don't think you guys hate black people. I think that I'm not even going to say y'all. Clearly, there's profit in telling conservative America what they want to hear about blacks. Am I saying that's what you guys are doing? No. But I see enough of that in the YouTube. The YouTube algorithm loves self-deprecating black people. That's why if you go on YouTube Shorts, you'll see plenty of videos saying, you want to know an interesting fact about slavery? The Europeans were slaves, and the algorithm loves that, okay? Because we know
James, I think you love it. No, James, I think you love it because whenever we speak to the solution to it, you defend it again.
You know what? Yeah, I hear you. You know, but
Harumi, would you like me to block you since my panel is painting you so?
Yeah.
Would you like me to block you because it seems like you're jumping on this James Oko bandwagon, and I understand. I completely understand. But would you like me to block you because you're here a lot? So it's a little weird that that's your stance, but you're here like every night. So if you'd like me to block you and like maybe you can't help yourself but come here, but I can help you. You don't want me to block you? Okay, he said no. All right, so I'll let you rock.
Okay, so Jen, look, I'm gonna say this because I gotta peel out. I gotta go to.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to tell you, James, too. Yeah, on YouTube, bashing black people, specifically black women, is huge business, and you know that, right? Because you're a fan of Kevin Samuels and the ilk and the like, right? So bashing black people, it's very lucrative. But you know what else is lucrative too? Coddling black people, pandering to black people. That's also lucrative. So there are a lot of lucrative things that are going around, not just bashing Black women, because that's really who gets bashed on YouTube, honestly. Unless you're talking about Cynthia G, and there's only one of her. Let's keep it 100. Okay.
Yeah, the funny thing
But
about Cynthia,
both sides are lucrative. Coddling people is lucrative, and this isn't race or ethnicity specific. Coddling people is lucrative, and pandering to people is also lucrative. Right? White guys do it in the red pill. They pander to white guys who can't get laid. There's a lot of pandering going on, and there's a lot of bashing going on. All right. So stop the cap.
you know what? You know what? You're right, Jen. And look, I support the channel. I support the channel more than a lot of people. I don't have a problem with you. I'll continue to come up as long as you have me. I guess the next time I come up, I'll just agree with you guys more. And I'll just I am good at acting. So I'll just go out. Black man ain't shit. I'll go along.
No, James, I don't want you to do that, because then it goes back to what I said. Black men are afraid to be leaders. You come up here and you be you. This is what I'm talking about. That black men let women run them over. Don't let me run you over. Man up. All right. Grab your nuts and come up here and be James. Don't let me run you over, because that's the issue in the Black community. That black men let women run them over.
Let me tell
that's
you
a problem.
Let me tell you something, James. Okay, let me explain something to you. If you come back up here, let me tell you something about this woman. It takes a certain kind of man to actually deal with this woman, okay?
Wait a minute.
Okay. I deal with her every
clutching my
day.
rope chain, David.
I deal with her every fucking day. I've known this woman for 10 fucking years. So whatever issue you might have, or whatever is rolling, swimming around in your head, it's not even 5% of what I've been through with this woman. And I'm still here. I still respect her. There's still love, because she knows I'm a certain kind of man.
Okay. Yeah.
Straighten your back. If you feel a certain way, stand on it. Period.
I got you. I hear you. And I got respect for you guys.
Don't have bass in your voice when you're in the chat. Bring the bass over here too. Okay, maybe you leave it in the chat.
You're James. You're our Kanye. You are our Kanye, and we appreciate you. And I know you got to run, so go ahead and say your last thoughts, darling.
And like I said, as far as me, I'm not on YouTube every day. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this again. Listen, people don't know me. They make assumptions about me. I could turn the camera around and get a lot of oohs and ahs. The people I talk to is literally the people on YouTube every day. I live in the YouTube building, if you know anything about Los Angeles, okay? So I don't have a problem with any of you guys. I'm going to come back. I got to dip out because I got things to do. I wish you guys the best.
James,
I'm going to continue to support you.
Before you leave, James, I'm going to let you know one thing. I heard this from Haran and from Jen. Haran didn't like Jen at first either, so you still have a chance.
I don't know. Like, what do you mean have a chance? Like, what do you like?
To win Haran over. Just because he doesn't like you today doesn't mean he won't like you tomorrow.
Hey, shout out to Haran. I don't have a problem with Haran, and I always say what I always said on this panel. If I see you face to face, I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing, brother? Everything is good. This is just a conversation. Yeah. I don't take any of this personal.
Absolutely.
This is just YouTube, man. And shout out to all of you. And Jen, I didn't mean to take personal shots at you. I just, hey, I said what I said. And I'm gonna
no, you meant to, but I forgive you, James. You meant to, but I forgive you.
Me?
I do. Okay. You my Jamesy Wamesy.
And clearly I represent a voice that needs to be talked about, because a lot of people agree with me in the chat. A lot of people agree. So if I was coming up here spouting BS, then I don't think it would be like that. So if I have to be devil's advocate, that's the role I play. But shout out to all of y'all, and to all a good night. Okay?
All right. Bye, James.
Bye.
$100 Cash App, baby. All right, so we didn't even get to the fucking main topic. Candace Owens is the topic. I still want to do the Meagan Good stands by her man, Jonathan Majors, because there's a lot of talk about, once again, that women prefer the bad boys because she was married to this good Christian man who she divorced, and now she's with the wife beater. And you know what I mean? The internets are abuzz. See, told you women like bad boys, and we're going to get into that because there's also a racial component in that as well. I guess we are done. We didn't get to. I'll change I'll do another thumbnail for this tonight, and I'll change the the caption. We got into Candace. Candace, okay, I didn't know Candace could fill 2 hours. I guess so. All right. Any last thoughts? Any parting words? David, you got quiet on us, David. I don't like a quiet David.
That's because I'm taking my Advil.
Dave
Your
over there.
For real.
Advil. Your
he
I am
feeling good
taking
over
my
there.
Advil.
Advil.
I'm taking this gummy blue lychee Advil.
Advil.
There you
I
go.
was
No,
wondering
sadly,
about his eyes. I was like, why his eyes look real low?
Just hear me out. We're doing that on Thursday. The religious versus atheist is on Thursday. Harumi, good to know you're sticking with us with your soft ass, like Candace said.
Look, listen, man. Listen, folks. Life is brutal. The block is brutal. Look, listen. It is what it is, man. You got to go out there. This is America, man. In my opinion, people should have their differences of opinion and still learn to coexist with each other. Okay, that's it, man. And after this, we're gonna go all laugh. We're gonna all joke, so on and so forth. I'm still gonna think you're a fucking coward, but it is what it is. Okay.
Listen, say what y'all want. I want to see what James working with. All right, say what y'all want. I'm curious. Thank you, Crazy Legs, for the super chat. Crazy Legs, hip hop icon, Puerto Rican king from the Rock City crew. What's up, baby? Big supporter of the show. I know I'm gonna text with him later. Like, did you see the bullshit? Okay. Hang back for 2 seconds, guys. Thank you so much for holding me down, chat, and for the super chats. We will see you tomorrow. We'll get into this Meagan Good stands by her bad boy, Jonathan Majors, tomorrow. This is brewing as well. My panel will bring things from their desk. Just hang back 2 seconds, panel. All right, guys. Good night. I love you all. Thank you so much. Come through mañana.